Hello, and welcome to KSBS News. My name is Daryl McLeod.
And my name is Braden Swiler.
Today's episode will include the daily interview with the Legionnaire. It will also include the interviews with the governor and treasurer from each party before the election.
Then we will go over the bills that both the House and the Senate have passed. To finish off the episode, we will be showing the press conference with your elected officials. And now, to the Legionnaire interview.
Hi, what's your name?
Glenn Fogo.
And where are you from?
I'm from Manhattan.
So what did you do when you served?
I was in the Air Force. I was a communications officer in the Air Force.
So what time period did you serve from?
I served, went in March of 1967, got out in January of 1972, had to think.
So did you see any overseas time or anything like that?
Yeah, I spent a year in Vietnam, Tan Son Nhut Air Base in Vietnam.
Got it. So did you do Boy State when you were a kid?
I did. Believe it or not, they had Boy State back then. 1961.
So what did you do when you were in Boy State?
Well, I actually ran for governor, and but I didn't even come close to winning, I don't think. But and I honestly don't remember then what office I ended up with. But we were Boy State at that time was in one of the high schools in Wichita, and we slept in the hallways. I remember that, and I was a drummer. And when we did the opening assembly each morning, we had to go out with our drums and play cadence while the rest of the staters marched to assembly.
So what makes you come back every year as a Legionnaire?
Just really enjoy coming back. I had some great memories of my time as a Boy Stater, and it's just such a wonderful program. I've done a lot of church camps and that kind of thing, but Boy State is kind of different in a very good way, because I think if one will allow himself to do so, you can learn an awful lot while you're here.
I think that's all my questions for you. Thank you for doing this interview with us. Thank you for your service too.
Thank you so much to Glenn Fogo for that interview. Thank you for your service.
Now we'll move to the interview with your caucus-elected governor. So why did you originally run for this campaign? And if you could also give your name and what you're running for.
My name is Austin Davis. I'm running for the governor. And personally, the reason I ended up running was because I like debating, and I was told that we're going to be able to debate. Like we're going to do a caucus and then an actual debate. And I was really excited for that. And also just with having a leadership role and seeing how important that is, and learning other ways to be a leader.
So if you're running for governor, I hear there's good competition on the other side. What do you think is going to be the best avenue in order for you to achieve that?
So victory itself?
Yeah. How do you think you can go about to be able to win this?
Oh, yeah. I think really the biggest thing is more of just focusing on not me or even Lucas winning and being victorious, but really what would be best for everyone and how can we best work with everyone. And I think just our flexibility, with me being in Senate, Lucas being in House previously, us both being from different counties, we have a lot of insight on not only just what other counties think, but also what other people believe, and even just within the government itself. So I feel we have a lot of avenues where open discussion will be had, so it's easier for us to connect and get a lot of different values, perspectives, and et cetera out there.
Do you plan on diversifying your cabinet, or do you plan on trying to keep it closer to your county?
I think what's really important is to have people that you trust. So I think it'll be an even mix. I'm definitely wanting a lot more people, so I'd at least like to have at least one person from each county, but also making sure people that I know and connect with the most are also able to have their voice and say, so it's easier going to be able to work with them. But I think it's also important to be able to work with people that I don't know that well. So really when that time comes of if I'm able to choose that cabinet, that I want to make sure I'm getting as many perspectives as possible. Even if I disagree with them, I think it's incredibly important to have those voices heard and those voices said.
Thank you. Hello, could you please state your name and what you're running for?
Josh Hulsey for governor.
And what were some of your motivations for running for governor?
And to be completely honest, I didn't even know what Boy State was. I kind of thought it was a church camp kind of thing. And once I got here and learned that it was a government simulation thing, I figured, might as well try for governor. I've got some decent enough ideas and I'd like to help people.
That's awesome. So going into the debate tonight in the election, what do you think is going to be your best campaigning skills or anything that'll help you win?
Just trying to be a people's person and appeal to like making people feel like everyone will be included and like have their voices heard.
Thank you so much for the interview.
Yeah.
Thank you so much to the governor from each party for taking time out of their day and taking time out of their campaigning in order to do an interview with us. It means a lot.
Yes, it does. Now we're going to go over what bills have been passed by both the Senate and the House. One of the bills that the Senate and the House have passed is the Prison Education Bill. It allows prison inmates to get education while in prison. It is completely optional. It costs roughly $2,000 per inmate. The prisoner is expected to pay off at least $1,000 after 8 years out of prison.
One of the next bills passed was the Mass Transit Bill. The state will allocate an unset amount to highways and other means of transportation. The Senate also suggests that 40% of this goes to highways, 40% to the transportation industry, and 20% to the railway system. The state will also be implementing toll roads and other forms to gain that money back.
The next bill is the Emergency Aid Relief Bill. 5% from the Department of Human Resources, 5% of the Natural Resources, 5% of the Department of Economy will be set aside for the Emergency Relief Bill. Half of the funds will be used to ensure public safety in the event of an emergency. The other funds will be used to the slush fund for the emergency relief. Department of Human Resources will distribute money as they see need to each county. National Guard will oversee and enforce the Department of HR decisions.
The next bill passed was the County Reconstruction of Energy and Infrastructure Bill, more commonly known as the CREEP Bill. This bill sends 25% of the Department of Economy that will be dedicated to infrastructure. Each county will receive a fifth of that 25%. So each county will receive 5% dedicated to the budget of infrastructure.
The next bill is the Raised Minimum Wage Bill. The minimum wage will be raised from $55 a day to $75 a day.
Now we move on to the press conference that was held with your state elected officials.
Congratulations, Austin, on becoming the new governor of Boise State. It was a fairly competitive election. What strategies did you implement to make sure that you took the lead in the end?
For the most part, I'll probably just say, I guess my basic strategy was really just doing how I genuinely felt like I would want things done. Because I know, at least in the election process itself, I feel like we should have kept things cordial and overall we were both incredibly respectful to one another, and at the end of the day it was really just mostly about the benefit of the state of Kansas as a whole. But I guess any deeper than that was mostly just, once again, staying true to myself. And so I guess really just a lot of my experience as a whole from Senate and just trying to keep things as professional as possible.
All right, I know you only have a few hours now under your belt as governor, but you have to be looking ahead. So what is your plan? What are your goals? What are you going to do to improve Boise State?
Well, number one, the first goal is budget. I'm going to be working with all the departments, working with my cabinet to crunch the numbers and figure out how exactly we're going to get all of these ideas to work with the money that we have. But going deeper than that, I think my main focus right now is just with criminal justice reform. Right now, looking at an overhaul for gun control. Looking to get that legislation passed, as I discussed in the caucus and as I also discussed in the debate itself. So hopefully we can get Senate and the House to pass that, but also focusing on infrastructure as a whole, and just once again focusing on criminal justice reform, education, a lot of those different things, and just improving quality of life overall. So if I had to say it in chronological order: budget, the gun control, criminal justice, education, infrastructure.
So first I would like to say congratulations, Lucas, on becoming Lieutenant Governor. Now, my question is, to clarify for some people out there, what exactly are the responsibilities and duties of a Lieutenant Governor?
So, the first and really the biggest thing about being Lieutenant Governor is, in a situation where something would be to happen to the governor, it would be my duty to then fill in for him. And really, secondly, it's just I'm a member of his board, so really just working on anything I can. And in my mind, it's really whatever I put into it is what I can get out of it, and I plan to put a lot into it, into helping everybody I can and doing the best that I can.
My name's Zach Jowers, and I've been elected as your state treasurer.
Well, first off, I'd love to congratulate you on your win. I noticed some of your campaign tactics out there. How do you think those helped you, and would you mind describing them to the camera?
I think they worked pretty well, if I'm being honest. I think it was clever, although I don't know if it was entirely necessary at times, knowing my counterpart candidate. He was not as serious about the election as myself, I believe. basically, I created posters that had my slogan, Zach has your back, and I taped them onto people's back, sometimes without them knowing. Some of you watching probably realized that minutes after I taped it to your back.
Sorry. All right, Roman. First off, I'd love to congratulate you on your position and winning it. What strategies do you think helped you gain the lead in this election?
Well, I think this is something that goes for just about all of us, that when I presented myself before my party and any time when I reached out to the staters, I was always very energetic. I always sought to rile the crowds and get them excited and enthusiastic to vote for me. Not just tell them why I'm the good candidate for this position, but show them why I'm the best candidate for this position. Another thing I think helped me is campaigning. In my campaign posters, you may have seen around here, I listed some of my qualifications, like I hold a variety of leadership positions within my school, and so that management and handling of several different positions of responsibility that is very similar to a secretary's job of managing all of the operations of the state and its various counties and departments. I think those all together kind of contributed to my qualifications for this position. Yeah.
First off, I'd love to congratulate you on your new position as Attorney General.
Oh, thank you.
You had a very tough opponent going into this race coming from what party are you?
Nationalist Party.
So you had a very tough opponent coming from the Federalist Party. What strategies did you use to get your policies out there and take the upper advantage?
Well, kind of the main strategy that I used to campaign against is that I have experience in Boise State. Is out of the two candidates, I was the only one who had any experience, as I was a district court judge. So I had some experience with the legal kind of system and protocols here at Boise State. So I was able to kind of leverage that experience to kind of really push my campaign out there, and that show that I have the capabilities and skills to, push forward our platform.
Well, there sure are some big promises made by our officials. I really hope they can keep that up for the week.
I hope they do as well. This has been KSBS News. Thanks for watching. Signing off.